Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. So Fizz versus Annie. Oh, this
Yeah.
is a pretty pretty snowbally matchup when someone's getting one-shotted.
Yeah.
So if there's ever a game to go early Banshees, this should be a pretty good one, or at the very least no magic. So this game is fucking long, so I'm gonna have to speed through a lot of the excess where nothing's really happening.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
tell me what you know about this matchup.
Early game she can punish me like really hard, and then like with our like ults, we usually like end up killing each other a lot. So yeah, like you said, snowbally.
Cool. So and you said this was after the session we had, right?
Yeah, it was 3 days ago.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, early on, he's autoing immediately. Okay. Yeah, that's whew. Did you take MR this?
No, this is my just the AP, my first page.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. So against champions who have targeted harass, I would highly suggest getting that page. So
Okay. Yeah. That was definitely bad.
so yeah, that's kind of like the thing I told you about, right? You have to when you're playing against a champion like this, you can't just like go up for CS every now and then and just use a spell to get last
Yeah.
hits, right? Because it's
So I should have stood back.
yeah. Either stay back or just try to hard push because same thing as like the Cassin lane we ran. He's all single target early on, right? If he starts that ability, so we can't
Yeah.
actually push against you. And the
Yeah.
other thing is every single anti they want to last it with Q, right? They don't want to be like using Q to just like do half like at the start of a minion, right? Because you get the mana back only if you kill it with it, right?
Yeah.
So if you start pushing the wave with like your E and stuff, like you'll eat that Q auto harass, right? But that means he's not pushing the wave, and you ended up getting Q autoed anyway, right?
Hmm.
Do you need to take that phone call or?
No, that's not mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you ended up taking all this harass, but because you played so back in the lane, you take the harass and you don't end up actually getting anything for it, right? He's pushing into you, so he's gonna hit level 2 before you, and you won't be able to do anything, and you're missing your health.
Okay.
So now you're at a point where you're like, fuck, I already took so much harass, I don't want to take any more. So now you just let yourself get zoned. But if you're gonna let yourself get zoned, you might as well have done it at full HP, so that when you actually do try to all in him later, you're healthier, or you just have more health. So if like a dive comes or anything, you're not so low.
Hmm.
So the other thing is there's no point in even walking up into the range where he can Q you like this, because it's a much worse trade for you than him to have to use your E like this. He
Okay.
doesn't really care about this. It's 60 mana, and he gets like half of it back when he kills something. And he's got Doran's Ring. Obviously, you have Doran's Ring too, but you're not killing anything right now, right? And look at the
Hmm.
cooldown on this shit. 16 seconds, and it's 90 of your mana. 90 of your 340 mana pool. He's got a 370, it costs him 60, he has mana regen, and he's killing creeps. And it's what is his cooldown? 4 seconds versus 16 seconds. Right? The second
Yeah.
this wave hits this turret, he's just gonna do the same shit to you. And now you don't have your E, so you don't even have any threat of trading back. He can literally just walk up and kill you. Like he should never you should never be able to hit a minion in this lane without eating a Q. Like the second you walk up, he should be queuing you every time. And if your plan is to E every single time he queues, you're in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
So I should just like completely back off early.
yeah, at this point, like walking up for these minions is just not worth it. Like it's the same thing when we ran the 1v1s, right? You either
Yeah.
completely concede everything early, or you just try to hard push it and then back.
Okay.
There's no in between. The in between is what puts you in this position where you're half HP into the turret, missing a pot, and you're still like 1 CS.
Hmm.
If you're gonna E to dodge his stun, that's one thing, right? But
Yeah.
if you're gonna just E for a random Q harass, it's not worth it. Dodging the stun's more
Okay.
worth it because you eat the rest of the combo too. But if it's just 1 Q, don't do it.
Okay.
You don't have the mana pool to support that unless you go TP.
Mhm.
So now wave's coming back into you. I mean, coming back into him, my bad. You're just shoving it now. Get stunned. Okay. Yikes. I think you are alive. Okay. So yeah, that's basically the threat. Like this basically like why it's so risky to go in between, right? Because
Yeah.
now you're in this position where like you want to push, right? Because like the wave is rebounded, but you're low on health. Like you have no pots left and you're missing health, right? And you're in this position because early on you were trying to step up and eat harass for 1 CS, and then you would back off and then you do it again and then you back off and you do it again, and then eventually you're like, all right, maybe I should just wait for it to hit the turret. Obviously, you're always going to get harassed when it hits the turret, but that's what you have your pots for if you've been playing back the whole lane.
Okay.
But the other alternative, like I said, is you just hard push it from the start. So, like, so he does a lot of damage to you here, right? But if
Yeah.
you had pots ticking, like, this whole time, all throughout all this, you wouldn't get low. But the reason you get low is because you, in the first, like, 2 minutes of the lane, you just let yourself eat free harass to the point that you just lost all your HP. And then when it was finally time for you to try to push to get your recall in, you had no pots left and you're missing health, so he got to the point where he could even potentially kill you, which should never happen in this lane this early.
Okay.
So let's check your gold. Not gonna be too much. 460. Oh, this is an awkward amount. Oh, you get a little bit more. So yeah, you really don't have any options here. It's gonna be amp tome pot.
Yeah.
You don't have a good buy for a control ward. The other thing you could do is like boots control ward pot, but that's just really bad. You kind of need the amp tome here, but that means you're gonna be without a control. And you're kind of just in this position because how poorly you played the level 1. Make sure you're eating back to lane out of the fountain.
Okay. It's okay the mana to use the mana like that.
Yeah, it's because normally when you get back to lane, you're catching a bunch of shit at the turret anyway. Just get your mana back off of that.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely don't buy control wards as much as I should.
Yeah.
I always forget to a lot.
Okay, so why are you pushing here?
I thought I could shove in the wave before Annie could get back, but that's definitely not.
Yeah, that's not happening. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to identify these so you're clearly you identify it right now, right? Like it took you like 2 seconds to realize, wait a minute, I'm not gonna push this in time.
Yeah.
All you need to do is just apply that like during the game too.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point you seem to realize you're not gonna push it in time, and you don't continue trying to push it, and so the wave's still in a good spot. Okay, not the best spot it could be at, but it's still in a decent enough spot where you can actually maneuver. Slot sitting here, waiting for your 6 to go in. You don't really know the EXP in this lane, but you should know it's close. Uses his W here to build stun stacks. Okay, good trade. Prepping him before the level 6. That's actually really good. If you're ever against someone you can trade on safely right before you hit 6 so that they're easier to kill when they are 6. That's always something good.
Okay.
Because it's very, I don't know about very hard, but it's going to be much more difficult to kill him at full HP with level 6 because he's a bit tankier than other mages versus killing him when he's at, what is his health, like, say like 70%, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to end up potting up here, but you have a pot too, so it's fine to look for trades like this. Okay. And real close to 6 here, just on these minions. There's the all in. Okay. So you end up getting the kill, but this could have actually been a lot cleaner than it was, and mainly this just comes from you needing to know your EXP really well, right? So you have a pot here, right? So kind of like how I described really briefly in our 1v1 session, you kind of use your HP as currency, okay? So when you have a pot, that's kind of, I guess you could use, I don't know, like a voucher or coupon, I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to call it, for HP, basically. So it's like, it's not like, it doesn't have any value until you actually use it, but it does have value. So the reason I bring this up is, right here, you're one creep from 6, right? And he's playing up on you because he doesn't realize you're one creep from 6. So literally all you need to do is you walk up, and the second you walk up, you pop your pot, because you know the second you walk up to hit these, he's going to harass you, right?
Yeah.
So you walk up and you start like pretending you're an idiot, and you just last hit these creeps. Like instead of walking backwards, you should just auto attack this creep twice. Hit 6, immediately press R, immediately skill your R, just go on him immediately. Because if this guy's like got a brain, that he realizes like you're close to 6 and he backs off. And then even right here, once he sees your 6, he doesn't really back off, and you're like, wait a minute, this guy's an idiot, and then you ult him, right? But against any rational person or anyone who just like isn't an idiot, so like sounds bad, but like this is such a bad play from him. Like it's very obvious, like at this point, what you're really looking to do. And then if it wasn't obvious enough, the second you hit 6, this guy books it. He's just fucking out. He just walks the hell away from you, and he's gone. You know, worst case scenario, like the shark comes like really close to his hitbox and he flashes it. And like even if like, but if he just walks away, even if you hit shark, he just flashes to under his turret and he's not gonna die to you. Like this kill only works because he severely misplaced. But it could have worked regardless of his misplay if he just stepped up and committed to hitting the CS and then going on him.
Okay.
Because you would have been right next to him, and you wouldn't have even had to risk like throwing the ult. Like he has so many ways to not die here. Walk back immediately as soon as he sees your 6. Walk back before the 6 because it's pretty obvious you're hitting 6 soon. Flash the shark, or get hit by the shark then flash into turret. All of those will save him here, but he does none of them.
But if I was closer, wouldn't my shark do like a lot less damage?
You don't even come close to not getting the kill though, right here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's the damage is, if the damage was like closer to not killing him, then like sure, but I'm pretty sure you overkill him massively. So let's actually just check. Yeah, how many ticks of your ignite went off?
I didn't even know. I didn't think I ignited.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're holding on to your ignite, which is like not really even worth it there, then like sure, like if you want to look for like a further shark, but like it's way better. Like what do you take ignite for, right? To secure kills, right? So if you're gonna take ignite, you might as well just make it more guaranteed that you'll get the kill, which in this case is just getting closer and getting the shark off. Okay. And just make sure, like, you're gonna use your ignite to get the first kill almost all of them. So 1056 here. This is revolver. Okay, so revolver boots or revolver refill pot control ward. So let's see. Boots. You just buy another pot. Oh, you have money for the control.
Yeah.
No. Oh my god. Okay. Every single back should be control, no matter what. Like, if you've got the money for it.
the first?
Yeah. If you've got the money, do it.
Okay.
Like, if you're in a position where you fuck yourself so bad that you back with like 500 gold, then like fine. But like, ideally, you're never in that position to begin with. Like, 500 gold is so low. Like, at 600 gold, you can buy a control ward. 500 is, like, extremely low, and that's, like, the only time you can't buy it. Like, if you back with, like, even, like, 300 gold, you buy it, because you just buy control ward and refill pot. But if you back it, like, 500 is really, like, the only one on Fizz, because then you need a pot, at least one, because you're Fizz, and then you have to get Amplifying Tome. Even, like, going Doran's Ring, you would just, if you want to go, like, a second one for whatever reason, you still get double pot, or just one pot, so... Those are like the only breakpoints you don't. 600 gold, it's control ward every time. It's amp tome, control ward, double pot. Okay. Like same thing with 700. It's amp tome, refill pot, control ward. And everything after that, like you just fit a control ward into there. Like,
where would be the best place to put it? Like in this situation.
In this situation, basically as Fizz, you pick one side you want to play to, like either whoever's winning already or whoever's easier to gank, the side you want to roam to basically, and then you drop it either in this lane bush or you drop it in one of these if you want to play top side. And if you want to play bot side, then you drop it in here or you drop it in one of these. So you're free to roam down the river.
Okay.
Alternatively, if like you see they have scuttle or something like mid roam, then you can just double back and then control ward this and then go down and hit this blast plant and go through. Or alternatively, if you have a trinket ward, you can trinket ward this, Q to the Krugs to get over this wall to dodge this ward because this is usually warded.
Okay.
And like if you don't have a control, you can just E over, but your E is a really long cooldown, so generally you don't want to do that unless you have to.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a very clear play to make right now. What do you think it is?
That doesn't, or like maybe E onto them.
No, just
No.
let the wave come into you because he's he's too close to his turret, right?
So don't do anything.
Exactly. Just let the wave come into you here. Don't go up for CS. Don't go up for CS. So I need to rewind real quick to see your ult cooldown. Okay, so it's still down for a while. Definitely just wait. Because you can't kill this guy right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And this guy, if you take a bad trade, can kill you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but once you get your ultimate, you can kill him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as he's not under his turret.
Exactly. So wait for it to push out and don't take harass. Because
Okay.
if you take harass, or if you don't wait for him to push out, either he kills you or you just don't get to killing him. So all you need to do is just wait. You have 2 pots. Yep, perfect. If you'd gone up, could have gotten killed by that gank too. You just wait for this whole wave. You don't walk in to get any of the CS. You just wait for it to come into you, and then you catch it all. Perfect. Because he knows if he tries to harass you under the turret, what's going to happen, right? He's going to be right here, and you just ult him, right? He has to run down all the way through this lane, and he's dead. So all you needed to do is wait for the wave, right? If you'd stepped up like right here, to right around here, right? You step up right around. Alright, this is I don't know. This is it. If you step up right here to CS, what's going to happen, right? You're just going to Q auto you, right? You don't have your ultimate to go back in, and potentially you even get killed by this gank. So yeah, whenever the wave's in a position like this, and you don't have your ultimate, or they're like too close to turret to kill, just let the wave come in, right? Because they cannot harass you under this turret unless they have a death wish. Like if this guy tries to stop you from getting any of the CS under the turret, you just ult his ass and he's dead. Especially because he locks himself into place when he's casting for a second. You can just get free shark on him, and he's donezo. So make sure you don't ever get over eager just because you got like a kill in lane or anything to like go CS. So I need to look at your vision here. You are red side, so there's a ward here. And you're just last hitting. And now you see Annie. Okay. So the second you see Annie here, what's your first reaction? Hello?
Yeah. I should push the wave probably.
Okay, yeah, well, first thing is back ping, and then second one's push the wave, yeah.
Okay.
So, if Annie had not shown, you don't push this wave. But because she shows that she's going to roam, then you push. Because if the wave was still here, that's way better for you, right? Because what is this guy gonna do here, right? What can he do?
Yeah.
He can't step up, right? So you just keep the wave here and you get zoned off CS forever. But the second he fakes that he's gonna go roam, then he has to push. So this is actually a tactic that I'm pretty sure he didn't do it intentionally, but this is a tactic that if you ever fall behind in a position where someone's freezing on you like that or holding the wave near the turret, just like go fake a roam that you're not ever gonna roam to, and just show on a ward. So then they'll be like, oh shit, this guy's roaming, I gotta push, and then you can go get your farm.
Okay.
It's another thing where like you can like fake like a recall, right? And then like if you go like most people won't even like walk up to check if you're actually recalled. They're like just gonna say like, oh, this guy disappeared for like 10 seconds. He must have recalled, and they'll push. Then you can catch the wave under your turret as well. If you're not like so low that you can get dove or anything. But yeah, those are 2 like really common mind games that you can use on people.
Okay.
So he pushed the wave here, and he ended up faking the roam, and you can clear out the control here. See Rek'Sai come in to ditch immediately. Good EQ, wait for those spells. He goes on you anyway. Alright, please, did you have flash? Okay, it looks like your flash is down. Okay, so the second you see Rek'Sai, you start bailing. Reaction's a little slow, but that's whatever. Yao. Okay, no, you don't have flash. You're dead to this.
Yeah. I think I get the Rek'Sai though.
Okay, good shark. Okay. Okay. You get the trade at least. Not really much you could have done about that. Gonna just get Annied. Hitting the ward is fine. It's a little risky, but you had lane control. It was just if their jungler came, you'd be in trouble. But you didn't really have great alternatives either because where the wave was here, like you can't really go up into the lane either. That's just as scary as hitting this ward. Your reaction is just a little bit slow to it. I think if you react immediately, you would get out. You stay.
Or I could have like maybe went on Rek'Sai with my ult.
One of the two, yeah. Just commit to something like faster here. You probably get out, or something better than 1-for-1 because it is quite a slow reaction. I don't know if you're like thinking you can still hit the ward and like judging the situation, or if you just didn't see him in time or what. But if you leave immediately here, you're gone. You don't start leaving until he gets to a point where he's like right here. When in reality, you could have left when he was right here, and you're just fine. Because the Annie does combo you, but the Annie needs time to walk up to you, right? So if we take a look at the exact frame where you should have started leaving, so right around when you see Rek'Sai here. She's right here, right? If you start walking out right here, you EQ right here, you end up right there. She's going to be right here, not in range of you.
Okay.
So if you just left immediately, you would have been okay. Because this guy would have never made it in range to smite you either, and you would have just been even further out. So this guy doesn't even combo properly, but unfortunately you don't have flash, so it ends up getting the kill on you anyway. But you do get the trade, so it's not too bad. So you're back 970 gold here. So I actually don't like Protobelt Rush on Fizz. I think it's better to get a Sheen after your Revolver and then go into the Protobelt usually. Just because Revolver in lane is so strong and it's a lot easier to proc than your Protobelt, right? Because all you need to do is just Q him and it applies. and it helps out with the burst early on because you proc, it's part of your Thunderlord's proc too. Not that it's hard to proc Thunderlords on Fizz, but in a short trade, it's a lot easier. In this lane, you don't really short trade because he's ranged and has constant harass. But against someone, I don't know, like melee, like Cassin or someone who you can constantly just hit with like W trades, it's easier to proc Thunderlords with it too without having to commit like going forward or to any side with Protobelt. So I actually think it's better to do Revolver into Sheen in most cases rather than just like straight rush the Protobelt because there's a lot of cases early on in lane phase where the Protobelt active isn't actually as good as the Revolver active is in trading. And just in general, like it's kind of an awkward curve, right? Because you get this Revolver and it's a super aggressive item early on, right? It does a fuck ton of damage early on, helps with your trades, gives you AP, and then suddenly you buy a Kindle Gem, right? And it's like, wait a minute, this item doesn't help me kill people. It doesn't really actually help you snowball, right? Because it doesn't, it gives you CDR, right? But when you think of like aggressive like snowball stats, like HP and CDR aren't really like your top two stats that you want for that, right? You want AP, you want magic pen, maybe move speed, any like active damage or like passive damage, right? So like Sheen damage or like AP or anything, right? Anything other than like health and CDR, right? So that's why it's kind of awkward to just do like Revolver into like the Kindle Gem for the Protobelt, right? If you're actually trying to just like hard snowball a game, it's usually better to go Sheen. And then sometimes like you even go straight into Lich Bane before you finish Protobelt if you really don't need the Protobelt. I think after Sheen and like maybe even like Ether Wisp, you can look for the Protobelt and it's not too bad, especially if the HP, like you're in a scary lane where like the HP will help you a lot. But there's a lot of times where just holding onto Revolver before Lich is actually probably more beneficial to you.
All right. Is it okay if I had like enough money for Protobelt after like I went back just now to get Protobelt, or would I still go into the parts for Lich Bane?
That'd be up to you. It like the thing is like in this lane, the Protobelt like it can be useful. But it's not always going to be like necessary because what do you kill this guy with, right? Like R, Q, E, W auto ignite, right? He's dead. You know, you don't really need proto belt at any point during that. And I don't know, the proto belt it's kind of awkward to fit into your combo early on because you don't really need it. So you might as well just get like sheen damage and start components for Lich Bane, and then once like the mid game hits, you get your proto belt. It's still really preference. If you have straight up enough for the proto belt, then usually I'd say probably just get that. But it's still like up to you. Like there's no like clear cut like this is always going to be better thing than yeah.
But if like the anti-rushed banshees, I think it'd be better for proto belt.
Yeah,
not
if you rush banshees. Not too common though. So fight goes on here. You have to show out middle first, so you end up gonna being late because this guy comes from base.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Not really anything to do there, but you had the wave shoved in. So you're waiting for Annie here. It's fine. It's a good play. He ends up going around the long way. So you go back to the wave here, make sure you don't miss any EXP, and he shows back up. You know he went the long way now. Okay. You some harass for it, but that's what your pots are for. And now you go back in, and it's a free kill. Yep. Good shit. Nothing to go, no lane to roam to. Your team's already doing dragon. There's nothing to roam to bottom. They're about to base. And so you go to the blue. Okay. And just finish off blue buff. Perfect. Okay, now you should just base. Perfect. Okay, no. Go in and push the mid wave here. It's greedy. It's coming into you anyway. That's exactly what you want. So no need to go back and push it. And he could have potentially punished you, or anyone could have potentially punished you if you went back to get it. So perfect. Get your proto belt here. Control ward. Control ward. Control ward. Control ward. No, you don't need pots to slate.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need 2 pots, you barely need 1, let alone 2. Like your control ward is just way more useful to you at this point in the game, right? Because what do you want to do, right? You want to try to kill this guy, and if you can't kill this guy, you're gonna try to roam, right? And your roam is way more effective when they don't see you pass, right? Any wards, right? And the only way you can know that is if one, you get a red trinket, which you didn't, you got blue, which I don't think is terrible. But if you're going to get blue, then you need a control ward so you can clear an area for your roam. Because you're at the point where you don't even need your ult to kill people, right? You just, like that Rek'Sai, you just killed without your ultimate. Use it on mid lane. So you can definitely roam even if you're using your ultimate to kill Annie. So you should be looking for that. So, I actually have no idea how this game ends up going fucking 40 minutes from this point in time. You guys are fucking insanely ahead, like almost 7k at 12 minutes, which is ridiculous. But a concept, I don't know if you've heard me say yet, I've been saying a lot more in my recent stuff. Your climbing is going to be almost always determined on your ability to impact like 50-50 games. And 50-50 games are those games where, you know, no one really loses lane that hard. You know, everyone on your team like kind of just goes like even, or like for the most part, like some people might lose, but they get canceled out by other people winning. And the game, like, there's no like, it's not like a stomp, right? Like those games where like all your lanes win and you just win at 20 minutes, and all your lanes lose and you lose at 20 minutes. Those tend to even out. You know, people might not think so, but like for the most part, those will usually even out pretty well. The games that determine whether you climb or not are the games where it's kind of even for the most part. So it wouldn't be this game from a glance, right? This does not look like it's going to be like a 50-50 game. This looks like it's going to be a fucking 20-minute FF game, not a 50-50. But your ability to climb is going to be very dependent on your ability to win these 50-50 games. And so let's say your bot lane was like 0-0 and your top lane was like still the score. So let's say your jungler was like 1-0 instead of 3-0, right? So it'd be like a lot closer, and maybe you'd have like a 2-3k gold lead off of like what you've been doing, rather than the 7k gold lead that you have because all of your lanes are winning. You got 2 turrets already. So if this game is closer, or if like their mid laner is better and he doesn't let you snowball and kill him so many times, it's really important that you're buying controls and you're managing your wave properly so that whenever you have a roam timing, you can go like save your other lanes or just like impact your other lanes to a point where you can like they'll win on their own. First and foremost, when you roam, you still want to be looking out for yourself first. So you always want to pick the lane that's easiest for you to kill, and that's usually not going to be a lane that's already losing too hard. Like if a lane is even, that's completely fine. If a lane's winning, that's even better for you to go gank because like the harder your lane's winning, the easier it is for you to get the gank off. Because there'll be missing items or missing levels or missing summoners. But just in general, those are where you want to go to. And in the games where like the lanes aren't as one-sided as this, your roams and your like stuff like killing the Rek'Sai, like the blue off your ward, that's the stuff that's gonna like tip those 50-50 games into you like winning. So this game doesn't seem like it'll be like really relevant for you to like have to like look for roams or anything because like every lane won so hard. But I just want to make sure you understand that. Especially on a champion like Fizz, who's got so much roam power.
Okay. And he does get fed later. I think it does get a little bit closer.
Oh, I hope this is a fucking 47-minute game. Something went wrong. Okay. So this is actually like a pretty classic like mistake a lot of gold, plat, like diamond 5-ish players make, where you see they'll see their teammate do something completely retarded, right? Like this is there's absolutely no basis to this play that Kled makes, and he kills himself. And then the player, the gold plat diamond 5 player in question, they'll be like, you know, maybe I can help him, but maybe I can't help him. And then you like do the worst thing you can do, which is like you half commit, right? Or even like half committing is even worse than full committing, because at least when you full commit, you like kind of learn like, oh, that was retarded of me, and you don't do it again, right? But when you half commit, like you use your ultimate here, right? But it's like, what are you gonna accomplish with this ult?
Yeah,
and like we've established you can kill people without your ult, but it's still way easier to kill people with your ult to the point where you shouldn't be wasting it like this. Like this ult doesn't actually do anything. You do like 300 damage to Singe. Whoopee, he pops his corrupting potion stacks and he's good to go. And now like Kha'Zix falls into the same thing. He's like, all right, Kled killed himself. I gotta go in too. And then he kills himself. And then Janna's like, and you and Janna are like, wait a minute, like wait, we can't actually do anything here. And then you start leaving. So this is very common. Just when you see stuff happening that seems like a completely terrible idea. Like, if everyone on the team is committing to it, then you have to just go to and be like, alright, I guess we're all jumping off the bridge together. But if only one guy goes, you just wave at him and say, like, see ya, dude. Because there's no point in, like, following if it's just, like, 2 or 3 people, right? Because when 2 or 3 people do it, this is what happens. Fucking, they're just dead for no reason. But when the whole team does it, like, you being alone, like, if you're, theoretically, your whole team just went in and died here, right? And you're, like, 1v4. You can't hold this turret anyway, right? You're not going to be able to wave clear 1v4. So at that point, you go in. But if it's only just like one person, it's just clearly a terrible play, then you don't commit at all. You know, you don't waste your ultimate or anything. Because it's very often, like, they'll do something stupid like this, right? Like, imagine if you had ult here, right? They're chasing into your fucking Xayah, and she gets a root off on both of them, right? If you have ultimate here, what's going to happen? It's free double kill, right? But because you were, like, hesitant on, like, do I help this idiot, or do I just let him die? And then you're like, you know, maybe I'll give him an ultimate, right? Because you're kind of doing, like, the in-between, right? Because you're like, you kind of want to help him because you don't want to just let him die for free, but at the same time, you don't actually think you can do anything. So you're like, you know, maybe I'll just ult. But the thing is, your ultimate actually ends up doing nothing. And now you're missing your ultimate for these kills, and it's so much harder to get these kills.
Yeah.
So it's just important to identify those situations a lot faster. Because when the inevitable happens, right, and they make this stupid-ass play to chase Xayah for no reason, if you had ultimate there, it would have been an easy turn. And even without your ultimate, it ends up getting to a point where you pick up the Jhin, and you almost pick up the Sins too without your ultimate, but because you didn't have it, you don't get it. You don't get both. So
Yeah.
that's about it for that. So you've got 850 golds. I'm assuming you're going to Lich Bane, so this would just be Ether Wisp here. Okay, Ether Wisp is almost always better than Blasting Wand, just because the extra move speed for a roam champion is very helpful.
Cause the AP isn't worth it a little bit.
Usually no. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So here, this is also a really common thing. It doesn't seem like you have any idea what you're supposed to do. You're kind of just chilling around middle, fishing for picks with your ult.
Yeah.
But the thing is, where do you excel, right?
Yeah, like roaming and stuff.
Roaming and skirmishing and killing people alone in a lane, right? Because what happens if you hit this ult on the Annie and you go in, right? This gets you to flip your ass and ground you so you can't actually get the kill properly, right? But what happens if you go bot lane here, right? You go bot lane right here, who's gonna stop you?
Okay. No, probably nobody.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be this guy, right?
Yeah.
How much MR does this guy have? He's dead. 41 MR, he's dead. What happens if this person goes bottom against you?
I'm gonna kill too.
You're gonna kill it too. Exactly.
Yeah.
So why are you mid?
I just thought I guess we could siege or something like that. A turret.
But what do you contribute to a siege?
Yeah, probably end up nothing.
Yeah.
Unless I dive them.
So what do you think is easier to siege? 5v5 here? Or if your team sieges 4v3 when you're bottom pulling 2 people, right? Because they need 2 people or you kill whoever they send alone, right?
Yeah.
So if you go bottom here and one person tries to stop you alone, they're dead. If 2 people try to stop you, if you've got wards out, you can just leave, and if they like double flash on you, maybe you die, but your team gets mid turret, right? Or your team gets herald. Or if top turret's up, your team gets top turret, right? And that's way more useful than the kill they get on you, right? So if you just go bottom and create pressure, it puts the enemy team in a much worse position. Because it's really easy for the enemy team to say, oh, look, they're 5 middle. How about we 5 mid and we just wave clear into the turret and ARAM, right? That's what they want to do, right? But when you send someone in the side lane, mainly you, because no one can stop you in the side lane 1v1 right now, the enemy team's like, oh shit, who's going to go stop the Fizz? Like, and then someone will go stop and realize, wait a minute, I can't stop this guy. He's got 5 kills and he just kills me, right? So you just create so much more pressure when you're bottom. And it's also better for you because you don't end up sharing EXP with 3 people, like across 3 people when you get your own gold, right? Because the reason you're so accelerated right now, right, is because of your kills, right? Your kills and to a lesser extent your CS. You know, you've got an okay amount. Like it's pretty low, but it's been a really like aggressive game. Fizz is just generally you don't get that much CS because you get bullied early on in lane. But the second you're tri-laning mid, right, this guy's gonna take half your CS, and he's gonna take like. You're going to be sharing EXP 3 ways. Whereas you can just go bottom, get all the CS in the world, get free kills on people who stop you 1v1, and get solo XP, right? And keep accelerating. But the second you commit to just like, hey, let me just ARAM mid real quick, what are you really accomplishing, right? You're starving yourself out of EXP and gold, and you're not really getting anything because you can't get kills anymore, right? Especially now that your ult's down. What are you accomplishing here, right? Nothing. Nothing.
Okay. But sometimes my teams are like dumbasses and they don't utilize the fact that I split push. It's still like a better idea to do it anyways, even if my teammates don't do anything.
So you think sitting around and letting yourself get scaled on is a better idea?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like you can pick between 2 things. You can do the right play and keep getting your golden XP, and maybe your team misplays, but maybe your team misplays like in a 3v4 or they don't wait for your pressure and they die. But at the very least, you're still strong. So if a game gets to a point where like, oh, the dragon respawns and you fight around it, at least you're strong, right? But what's gonna happen here is you're just all gonna sit mid. You know, maybe a fight breaks out. Maybe a fight breaks out, but because you're next to the turret, it's probably not gonna be a clean fight. You know, maybe you trade like evenly, or you guys are up a kill or 2, and then you still don't really get anything out of it. But then when the dragon fight comes, you haven't been getting EXP or gold for how long? Look at this, okay? Look how long you stay middle here. Okay, you come into lane with 77 CS at 1350. Okay, let's see how long
Yeah.
you stay here and do nothing. Miss your shark. Okay, okay, okay. Next wave, next wave. You get 1 CS. We got 1 CS. Okay, stay, 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 stay. Random shit happening in the jungle. Alright, nothing really happens. Alright, next wave. Oh, looks like you might get a few more CS on this one. Alright, 1 CS so far. 2 CS. 3 CS. Okay, 3 CS. Janna gets engaged on. Janna dies. You guys kill Rek'Sai. And now you're dead. And oh, maybe even if you you don't die. Okay, you do die. So now let's wait for you to respawn, wait for you to respawn, wait for you to respawn, and boom, now you're in the lane. You spent 2 minutes and 10 seconds for 1 kill and 4 CS. That's it.
Yeah.
So let's go back to 1350, okay? Let's go back to 1350. If you go bottom here, literally just catching this wave will literally have given you more CS than you got this whole time. This whole 2 minutes and like 20 seconds you spent in the mid lane. You go catch this 1 wave and it's already been more productive for you. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. And you get, from all this shit, from this whole fucking like siege and all like the kills, like you get 1 kill and I don't even think you get EXP for the other one because you're dead. It gets you to like right here. Like you're almost 11. It takes you like 2.5 minutes almost to get to 11. Whereas you go bottom and you catch 3 waves here and you're 11. And not only that, you're getting way more gold than you got out of this. Like that kill, well, like basically, like you could have got this kill also from being bot lane, and at the same time you would have gotten a million more CS too. So if you didn't end up getting the kill, you would have still had like a fallback to go back on. But instead here, you bet it all on the fact that you're gonna either get the turret on the siege or you're gonna get a kill. Instead of just going bottom and getting the guaranteed play. And here's the other thing, right? You're like, oh my god, I'm so scared that my team won't play off my split pressure properly. But you're saying you trust your team more to siege here? Against Annie and Singed and Morgana and Jhin and all this shit that can just run at you? And Rek'Sai over the wall, tunnel, everything? You expect your team to siege properly? Like, what do you do in a siege, right? You can't hit the turret. You can't walk up and hit the turret. You're gonna die. So
Yeah.
you contribute nothing in a siege, right? If you go bottom, what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to fight someone 1v1, right? And what have you been doing all this lane that got you 5 kills? You've been killing people 1v1 in lane, right?
Yeah.
So why would you willingly put yourself in a position where you have to completely trust your team? Whereas if you go in here, yes, you still have to trust your team to an extent to not die in middle while you're creating split pressure bottom. But at the very least, even if your team misplays here, what's going to happen when they send Annie or Singed to go into lane against you, right? No matter what your team does middle, you're still going to kill them, right?
Yeah.
But depending on what happens here, you might not get anything. Because if Xayah steps up and hits the turret and gets Annie ulted, what are you going to be able to do? Nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing, right? If he steps up and hits the turret right here, Annie's right here, Tibbers combo into Singed W, flips, dead. 100% dead, and what can you contribute? You can't dive him under the turret. Especially once you use your ultimate. You cannot trade kill under the turret. So you just put yourself in a position where you can do even less, you know? Yes, it's very, very common that if you go split, they're not going to use your split pressure properly. But at the very least, the fallback is, even if they make a misplay middle while you're splitting, you still get all the CS, right? And if someone goes bottom against you, you still get the kill, regardless of what they do middle. They can get ace middle, but you go bottom and you kill the one person that goes against you, and you get pressure on the turret, and you get 3 waves, and you get the kill gold. And now all of that can happen in a minute, minute and a half, and that's already less time that you spent middle here, wasting time on the siege, and it's also you get way more going bottom than you get this whole time sharing triple EXP middle and sharing CS middle, because he's going to take it all. Like, this guy literally just is going to take almost all of it. And the other thing is, all you need to do is just, as soon as they start walking middle and you start walking bottom, ideally, like that's what you should have been doing, you just walk bottom, you just type to your team, I am going to split bottom, they need to send 2 people to stop me, hit the turret when they send 2 people. That's it. And if they fuck up, like even then, like when you're like back pinging, like when there's like no one bottom, like no one's showing against you bottom, like it looks like they're going to try to 5-man middle, you just back ping them 50 times, and then if they don't listen to everything you typed and they still don't listen to everything You ping, then unlucky, right? But you'll find if you're actually communicating with your team, like I understand if you're like in lane phase and you're focused and you don't want to type, right? But after you back and you're walking back, you have a long downtime walking down the lane to type everything you want to type to your team. And that's when you type it. You say, I'm going to split. Please wait for me to draw pressure, and then you can pressure middle. If they send multiple people for me, get the turret. If they don't send people, wait for them to show. I will kill anyone 1v1. That's it. Takes you like 10-15 seconds to type, and suddenly everyone's on the same page. And it's a lot easier when everyone's on the same page. This isn't fucking silver elo. People have like reading comprehension, you know? Like
Yeah.
they understand to an extent. Yes, they're still probably gonna misplay every now and then, but if they're on the same page, then you'll be surprised that they aren't that stupid. Like if they're really in it to win, like sometimes they might misjudge, you know, like if they get fought, they'll like usually turn to fight, you know, they'll be like, oh, I thought we could fight. But like if nothing's going on and like you create the split pressure, most of the time it'll be okay. Like if you're doing your job properly too. But and like yes, it sucks that you have to rely on your team to like that extent, but like you're relying on your team even more for this play. And the fallback for this play is way worse than the fallback for this play, right? Because worst case scenario here, you get like 3 waves, and maybe no one shows against you and just get turret damage instead, right? That's the worst case scenario. But what's the worst case scenario here? Your Xayah takes all your CS, your triple stacking CS middle, your triple stacking EXP middle, and then they engage on your bot lane, and you don't get anything. So yeah, it's just a worse play. So you go and catch the bot wave here after the whole mid fiasco is over. Okay. Top lane play happens. You start rotating. You're gonna be really late, so you just shove middle up. And you start pressuring mid turret because you can't make it to the top play. It's fine. Fortunately, you don't have Sheen, so it takes a while. Okay. Okay, get his Banshees off. Go for the ult, you miss. Then you have to back off. Okay. Okay. Okay, you're just wave clearing here. You got your Sheen money on base. Okay. Just waiting for Singe to push it out. Can't really step up against him. Too risky. Just gonna catch the right turret. Kind of just catching waves right now because your team just finished fighting top. So now they're back on the map. And as soon as you clear this mid wave, you just walk to the dragon. Yep. Okay. Yep. And the same thing as before, right? You don't have your ultimate and there's very little you can do. So you stick around and there's like, maybe I can do something, but instead you could just be pushing mid and pushing the turret, right? Force a response from them. Like, the second Kha'Zix went in like this, the fight was probably over, right? This dude was like 100% dead. You've already got the dragon. You don't have your ultimate. Why are you sticking around? There's no need to stick around. Just go push mid. Just go push mid. Look at all this time you waste. Look at all this time you waste. Okay. So the second you get the dragon, right? I'll freeze frame exactly for you when you need to leave, or you should leave. Did my replay just freeze? Okay, my replay froze. I have to restart this. God damn it, League of Legends. That's upsetting. Give me 1 second. You have any questions while this loads up again? Go ahead.
I can't think of any right now.
Alright, so we were at like... Everyone can see it again, by the way. It's like 17 minutes.
Oh yeah, I can see.
Okay. So... we... a little later here, so... Sin's just pushing middle. You have to wait for him. Dragon. God damn it. That was a little too fast. Okay. So Dragon's getting finished here. You're chasing Singed. Boom, Dragon's dead. And you don't have ultimate. You can't cross these guys, right?
Yeah.
You can't cross through here. You don't have ultimate. Just go mid. Like, you can wait a little longer, and then the second this ult comes out, it's over. There's no chance you can fight this at all. This Jhin ult comes out, it's donezo. Go mid right now. 18-12, start walking middle. 13, 14, 15, 16, clearing mid. Clearing mid, clearing mid, clearing mid, clearing mid, clearing mid, clearing mid. 20. Let's say it's the waves coming in, waves coming in, waves coming in. Start hitting the turret. Say it like 25. That's like pretty conservative. Still hitting, 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 hitting. What are you actually doing? Nothing. Hitting, hitting, hitting. New wave comes in, clearing the new wave, clearing the new wave, clearing the new wave. And you have turret. Instead, you get this kill, and I'm pretty sure that you get this kill because he misplays too. Like, you're just waiting here, waiting here, waiting here. And yeah, he just walks past the ward and he left him. And you get a kill. There's actually no reason for him to be here either, because what he should have done is just go to his red buff. Like, I don't, like, he's Shadow's recalled, and he's like, you know what, I want to go get my red buff. And instead of going to my red buff directly like normal people, I'm just going to walk this way instead. I actually have no idea what this guy's trying to do. But yeah, you get a kill, but here's the thing, right? If you've been middle hitting this turret and this Annie, or they walk up to you alone, you just kill them here, right? If you just kill the turret, or if like Rek'Sai comes to try to flank you here, you just kill him here, right? And you get the turret too. But now, you're not gonna get the turret. And the turret is way more important than a kill. You know, even if you end up doing this play instead and you don't get the kill, this turret is worth way more to you than the kill. So, it's still a fine trade. So, this shit happens. He's at the... You don't really want to catch the big wave, sure. Kaz helps you catches it, and then now you base. Good. Okay, you got your Sheen and you got Aetherwisp. Why do you not have a trinket? Is this a bug? This has to be a bug.
Yeah, I should have the blue one.
Yeah, okay, that's really odd. Okay. Okay, so you go mid, you push, they're all top, fighting. So you pre-mid turret for you, good. Okay, keep going. Get this wave into the turret. Okay, you get a flash. So you want to be really careful at this point in the game when you go for plays like this, okay? Because having your ultimate not up for an objective, like it wasn't up for the start of the dragon, meant you could do very little with the dragon, right? And the other thing is, you don't know who's behind this guy. Take a look at your vision. Where is everyone? I don't know. So why are you going for this? Like, you're basically calling his bluff, which isn't always bad if you have like context clues to go off of. Like, if like you saw the top fight and just like, all right, everyone who was at this top fight is like 1 HP. There's probably no one behind this guy. If there's only one person behind him, I can kill him anyway. Fine, go for this play, right? But if there's like, there could be like a Jhin right here. There could be a Rek'Sai right here. There could be a Singed right here. And suddenly you go for this play and you're dead. And if you have like a shutdown, like you hadn't died as much already, you give up a shutdown. That's like 800 gold for the chance for 300 gold. Just don't risk it. It's better to go into, better to wait till you have a more of a guarantee, or just do it in a sideline rather than middle. And I think a lot of this game is probably going to be the same mistake over and over, because you just path middle over and over. You're just pathing mid, pathing mid, pathing mid. Not doing anything, right? You don't actually accomplish anything during like any of this. Yeah, you look for a kill every now and then, but like, you're going for kills now when there's going to be people everywhere around, because they're all going to be in the mid lane, right? There's going to be one guy splitting bottom against their Colette. You should be the Xayah right now. Like, why is Xayah here and you here, right? Who's way better in a 1v1 lane? You. Why aren't you top? Either 1-3-1, if Kled doesn't want to split, then you 4-1 with you bottom, or if you're really scared of Baron, which you shouldn't be because your team can stop them 4v5, or stall long enough for you to get there, then you can split top instead, but then they just collapse on you, so it's not as good. But like, you accomplish so little from being middle, and you just keep going middle.
Okay.
It doesn't actually accomplish anything. Like, what do you really get done here, realistically, right? What are you gonna do about that? You can't do anything about that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. Like, yeah, this guy can maybe do something, but like, he has the same problem, right? When you go for plays middle this late into the game, everyone's gonna be middle, and this is gonna happen, right? You guys had such a big lead, but you don't do anything with it, right? And I think this whole rest of the game is basically the same issues. That's what it seems like. You guys just go mid, like okay, you're just gonna path middle here, path middle, clear, 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 and okay, there's a dragon. You guys gotta fight at this dragon. They're not gonna contest you for it, so just free dragon, and then you're gonna go back to the same thing. You're gonna push middle. You're gonna try to ult someone, because you know if they're 1v1 you can kill them, but it's not gonna be 1v1. Oh, you're going top. Okay, let's see. Go top here. So what you should do is you should shove the next wave. Good. And keep going. No. Yeah, this just happens because there's no communication going on. Like, yeah, no one knows what's going on. You included. Like, you guys kind of just wandering around randomly. Enemy team doesn't know what's going on either, but you guys fought them and they won, so they're like, all right, let's go push something now. We're up a person, and then you just it's just all a mess, right? None of this is like productive to talk about because it's all the same mistake, right? You guys don't have a set thing you're trying to do. I don't know what are you trying to 1-4? Are you trying to 1-3-1? Are you trying to pressure around Baron? Are you just trying to force a fight? If you're trying to force a fight, why are you doing it without the Fizz? Like, no one knows what's going on because no one's pinging anything. No one's probably typing anything. You guys had a lead, and you're like, all right, we can probably just face roll on our keyboard with the lead, right? Because against most teams, that works, right? But when people actually understand what the hell they're doing, that doesn't work, right? How is there really gonna be a fight over bot tier 1? Oh my god, it froze again. Holy fuck, I'm getting trolled. God damn it, League of Legends.
Can I like still like split push by my like would it still be a good option if I was like behind or like maybe not as fed?
If you can 1v1 most people who come down, if you can 1v1 the mid laner, usually yes. If you can 1v1 the mid, like if you 1v1 the mid laner but you can't 1v1 the top, usually yes. But the way you split there is a bit different, right? You would go, well, let's see. So basically, like, you would go into the lane, right? And you would push it, and then the second the person you can't move one shows up, you try to go middle and start like a 5v4 or something. Or you try to find someone like warding in the rotation and you kill them, like the support or something.
Okay.
Let me start the screen share again. And if you can 1v1 everyone, obviously you just fight them. And if you can't 1v1 either of them, then you try to just catch minion, you just catch the wave and then you back off. And you catch the wave and you back off. Catch the wave, back off until you're at a point where you can either team fight or fight the person 1v1, right? Because your like 2-item, 3-item spike is really hard for people to 1v1, right? But the only way they can fight you is if you're behind the curve on your spike, right? But if you're catching bot waves over and over or top waves over and over because you're splitting, rather than having to share EXP and gold with your bot lane middle, then you'll get to that point where you can get your items to 1v1 like a lot faster. And you can get back into a game by splitting too, as long as you make sure you wait till you get to your item break points before you actually fight. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna speed through basically like the rest of this game on 2x. Because I don't think there's going to be too much else that's productive from this. Because it seems like you guys just have no idea what to do and you're kind of just at a loss. Yeah. You're like so desperate that you just walk in alone looking for anything you can get and you just die.
Yeah.
So Banshee's Veil honestly probably would have been a better third item in this game than Death Cap. Just because the risk of you getting one-shotted by the Annie is really high. And it also gives you MR against the Morgana, who's building AP, and the Singe, who's got some AP as well.
Yeah.
So Banshees into either Void if they stack armor after your Banshees, or Death Cap. But usually Void. Death Cap should almost always be your last item. It's all the same. It's really all the same. Let's see, I can skip to a fight. And it froze again. Holy shit, dude. Alright. I'm just gonna load it up outside the screen share and see if there's anything I want to actually talk about in it. Because I think the screen share might be why it's freezing over and over.
Okay.
You have any, like, same thing, you have any questions about anything I've been talking about? Go ahead.
Okay.
But I think that's, the gist of it has probably been covered, like the laning and the reason, like, you guys aren't able to transition the lead into, like, a win. This is just, God, all these fights are a mess. What is going on in this game? What the fuck is actually happening? Alright. So, I don't think there's anything useful, like, game specific. I'm just gonna end on saying this. I say all the time that the absolute last thing you want to do in solo queue is team fight. And the reason for this is similar to the reason that you were very apprehensive about split pushing, right? Because you have to trust your team. But what do you need to trust your team more in? A team fight or split pushing?
Yes.
Exactly.
Split pushing would be better.
Yeah. So there's no like solution where like it's like you don't have to rely on your team at all, right? Because League of Legends, at the end of the day, it's a team game. But the thing is, team fighting, it's just so scary because there's so many variables, right? You put a challenger Smurf, a legit challenger player, in Diamond 5, right? And just normal, he'll have like an 80-90% win rate, you know, most of them. They'll win a shit ton of their games. But you put a challenger Smurf in Diamond 5 games, and you start all of them, and you tell them, here, all your games are starting at 30 minutes, and the game is dead even in gold, and you have the same items as everyone else. They'll still win a lot more than the average player, but it's not going to be 90%. It's probably going to be like 70%, maybe even 60% if they play a champion that isn't very good at team fighting. And why is that, right? They're still the best player on the server, right? But the problem is they can't impact, like, there's so many more variables that are out of their control when you start the game at 30 minutes, right? Especially if you play a champion that doesn't have any split push presence, right? All of your advantage, like, games are almost always decided in solo queue by the lane phase. Which is why, like, all these Smurfs, they get their 90% win rate because they are so good at the lane phase, they never let the game get to a point where they have to rely on their team past, like, very minimal amounts, right? You still need, like, 5 players for the most part. You know, sometimes you'll win 4v5. But for the most part, you need 5 people who have, like, 2 hands and on your team. But much more than that, if you play properly, you won't need much more than that. Sometimes you only need 8 hands. But you need to just make sure when you get your lead that you put yourself in a position to use your lead. And one of the worst ways to utilize your lead is going to be team fighting. Just because when you team fight and the goal is anywhere remotely close, like, you cannot control your AD carry from walking up into Annie and getting one shot. You can't control your Kled and your Kha'Zix jumping the back line when your AD carry has 20 kills and just needs peel, right? People are just, they make mistakes, right? But when you put yourself in a position like either you roam so much that everyone just wins their lane and it never makes it to team fight stage, or you take your lead and you go split in a lane and you get an inhibitor, or you create so much pressure that your team can just fight 4v3s or 4v2s where it's so much easier, even if they're bad, to succeed, then you'll have a much better win rate. You got a really good lead in the lane phase. For the most part, like, your lane was, like, alright. Some minor hiccups, like, especially, like, the the level 1 to 3 is where like most of the issues were came about. But you hit your level 6 spike, all in dim, snowballed off that, got a good roam, killed Rek'Sai at the blue buff, got going, and you had all the tools to carry the game. You just didn't transition the lead, which is a very common like thing. You know, it's lane phase. You play that every game. Mid game and how to transition your lead. You don't always have to play that because you know people tilt the FF15, FF20. You don't always have to do that. So it's common. It's nothing to feel bad about, like not knowing how to play that. But and just identify like if you have roam opportunities, go for them. If like the lane phase is over, turrets have already gone down. You can't do anything mid lane in the siege because your champions aren't very good at sieging, or your bot lane is just not good enough to know how to do it, or if your champion's just bad at it, go split push. You know, don't waste your time middle try laning and sharing exp and not getting and cutting your own gold flow off. You know, put yourself in a position to succeed and utilize your advantage, right? And if you're behind, put yourself in a position where you can get gold to the point where you're going to be relevant again. Don't just like lane, like don't just like try lane because like, oh, we're ahead, we can siege, right? That's not how it works all the time.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions before you finish up?
Yeah, it's more about like the general like OPGG stuff, but
Okay.
like I was just wondering about like whether duoing is fine.
So duoing, it boosts your effective MMR. Basically, if your duo partner is someone who you guys don't just like scapegoat your whole team with, like that's actually a pretty common thing with duos. Like you guys will like ignore your own mistakes and just like blame your team overly. If you guys aren't like that, you guys like understand that you can criticize each other if you're both like in the interest of getting better. And he's a player who can like consistently compete like with players like in your bracket and slightly above. Then like sure, there's nothing like inherently wrong with duoing. But just take into account that like yeah, it's gonna boost your MMR a bit, and like a lot of the time when you do it with people, it tends to kind of be like an echo chamber because you guys don't want to hurt your own feelings. So you kind of just like, oh wow, our AD carry like so bad, when in reality like you guys are also making a lot of mistakes too.
Okay. And just one more. It's about like mindset and like tilt, cause like during like promotion series, I like tend to lose them a lot. Like I think I lost my promotions to Plat 3 like 4 times now. I think like I play differently maybe.
I've
Like
got
during promotion series.
Have you seen my videos on like climbing and like improving?
No, I haven't. Should I check those out?
Yeah, I'll link them to you in Skype,
Okay.
as well as the highlight for this session once I highlight it.
Okay.
So I'll just get those for you real quick.
Okay. And then those have info about like tilting and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, they're a little long, but you can listen to them while you do something else. Like, so.
Okay,
It's
sounds
just,
good.
yeah. Any other things?
No, I think that's it.
All right. You ever want to schedule again, or you got any questions? Just hit me up. We'll get something sorted out. Good luck in your games, man.
All right, thank you.
Okie dokie. What is this straw poll? What do I mean by